Witnesses say the structure showed no sign of distress or weakness 24 hours earlier, but on Thursday night, the two-story building gave way, trapping 5 persons underneath.
It was around 10:40 something yesterday night when we were in the parlor watching movies. Then we heard the sound of, we thought it was like rain falling actually. So we came outside and then just for us to see dust like everywhere. It was like cloud everywhere. And then everybody rushed outside. We started shouting for help. And we saw that the building was collapsed. And then for me to enter back inside, the tap was destroyed. Water entered our house, dust, and since yesterday we're not able to sleep.
Emergency and rescue agencies were all on ground with equipment to rescue 2 trapped under the rubble. The Federal Capital Territory Emergency Management Agency gives an update on the building collapse.
We received a distress call at about 11:45, and on turning out, we arrived here where we had to activate other stakeholders. We activated NEMA, Road Safety, FCT Fire Service, some of our civil defense, the police force. We all turned out and we swung into action. Well, with other forces, we had combined forces, a combined team, and we were able to rescue 5 people. We took them to the hospital. 2 of them are already out of the hospital. They are not badly injured. We have 2 more people that are trapped in the building, and that is what we are doing now.
Residents of the area speak more on the incident.
Nobody believed the building is going to collapse because initially initially they have a plan of putting transport car park there. So along the line they changed their plan, and we heard that they want to build another plaza there. So later on, I think so many engineers work in that house, in the building, the collapsed building, whereby they've been sacked, like 3 or 4 engineers.
I'm very surprised, like seriously, very, very surprised. Because this hotel I've known for more than 15 years. I school here, born and brought up, so I was surprised. When I came, my sales girl was telling me that the shop, she was telling me that the hotel has gone down, like things just collapsed overnight. I was surprised.
FCT, Emergency Management Agency, we don't give up. We make sure we get to the root, we carry out the search and rescue, and ensure that we rescue whoever is trapped in the building.
Residents are hoping that the government will do more to check issues of building collapse in the FCT.
Well, for more on this, the Director General of the FCT Emergency Management Agency, Abbas Garba Idriss, joins us in the studio. Thank you very much. It's good to have you on Newsnight tonight. Well, going by what Brookings Institute revealed, between 1974 and 2019, over 221 buildings have come down across the country. Yeah. Apparently, that's really something to worry about. But based on this latest developments in Abuja, we're hearing that that structure that came down has to do with the repurposing of the building. It was meant for something, one thing, and then it was, diverted into other uses. What exactly, what more can you tell us about this building that came down?
Well, from experience, we normally get to know that because of the, cutting corners of the operators and developers, we normally have such kind of collapse to happen. And because they change the title, whenever they are given approval to go and build one floor, they go and try to build additional floors, or they change entirely the usage. When it is not commercial, they change it to commercial. And so these are the causes of this thing. And it is also, it might be the same reason with this. We have to investigate and get to the root of the real reason for this collapse, because so many things are coming up. Some people were saying It was a hotel before it was changed. Some people were saying it was one floor, but they raised it to 3rd floor. So we have to do the investigation, go back to development control, and also get the actual primary approval given to them, and then we will now be able to know what really caused the collapse.
All right, what ordinarily a Nigerian would ask from precedents, if this kind of thing happened, were there people prosecuted to forestall this kind of events happening in the future? That's very important. Yeah. But after that, confirm to us that 2 people are dead, and then how many rescued, or is it been more?
Yeah, 2 were fatally injured and 5 people were rescued alive. Out of the 5, 2 were discharged from the hospital. 3 are still in the hospital. That is the situation at the moment. And prosecution, yes, we have the laws, but like our own agency, we cannot enforce the law. The responsible agencies that are supposed to enforce the law are there. The only thing that the FCTA administration could do is that whoever built a structure and it collapses, he or she must forfeit that premises, definitely. That law is there. But prosecution of whatever has to be with the relevant authorities.
Well, some of the rescued victims in this particular building that went down right here in Abuja actually said they spent hours before any kind of help could come. Is it an indication that NEMA, I mean the National Emergency Management Agency, your agency, has challenges with meeting or quickly responding to these kinds of emergencies? What exactly could be responsible for this delay in responding?
Well, I think if there is any delay, it could be from the people calling the rescue team. We always ask them to call the 112, which is a toll-free emergency number. 112, toll-free emergency number, and it works 24/7. You don't need credit, you don't need any even SIM card to call 112. Once you put on your phone, you see emergency calls only. Call the 112, you will get a response. And in most cases, you find out that it is at the last hour they will call the response. And by the time we responded, we got the call, distress call, through the 112 actually, around 11:30. By 11:45, we were there. And I personally activated most of the responders, including the security agencies, and all of them responded, and we commenced work immediately. But the only thing that we could not be able to deploy at that point is those construction companies who have the earth-moving equipment, which even if you call them at that time, the drivers will not be there because they don't work 24/7. So in the morning, all of them were there, and we started carrying out the rescue. But even before that morning hours, we had rescued those 3 people that were there before the commencement of those that were trapped in the rubble.
Okay, let's talk about...
I was just trying to call that 112 number, and it's taking like a few minutes. Okay, great. Fantastic. I can confirm. We hear hello at the other end. 112. Great, fantastic. We're in the studio. We're only trying to confirm that this 112 emergency number actually works, and it is a delight to know that it works. Thank you very much. And this call is from Arise News. Great.
Right,
fantastic.
Thank you.
Good, fine. It's good that that's been...
We're able to confirm that.
Confirmed. Let's talk about the challenges you faced while doing this job on the ground, on the site. Tell us about the challenges, and tell Nigerians
how to,
when this kind of events occur, what should they do?
Thank you.
And how should they help your cause when you're on the ground?
You see, most of the challenges we face is the communities. By our culture, we try as much as possible to move in to try to rescue, to help in that regard. But as you are doing that, you are restricting the professionals from carrying out their responsibilities. But in this regard, I think I must commend the security agencies, because they are the first people that we activated to cordon off the place. we activated the civil defense, the police, and then we also activated the FRS so that they can divert traffic, and Federal Safety Corps to divert traffic. And all of them had responded positively. So we were able to really move in and carry out the rescue without, otherwise we wouldn't have finished the rescue by this hour. Sometimes it took us more than 24 hours to get to the ground zero. So, but this one is okay. And we also have the cooperation of all the stakeholders. All the stakeholders were activated based on our regular meetings that we interact, and also based on our emergency response plans. And everybody has to come and play his or her own role. And that is why we were able to achieve the goals and get to the route and ground zero and get those people.
Fantastic. And walk us through the kind of emergency plans or protocols that you typically have, you know, in order to respond adequately and timeously to such occurrences.
Yeah, like we said, our own main role is coordination.
Right.
And we coordinate all the responders, the first responders especially in the FCT. And we are doing that based on the emergency response plan. Like I said, we have a document which we have agreed, which is always updated. After this, we have to have a debriefing that will look at it critically and see where the gaps are as a result of these operations. Then we'll now sit down and see how do we now bring in and then amend all those gaps so that at the next building collapse, we are not praying. We are not going to repeat the same mistake.
What are some of these gaps? I mean, in your findings so far, I'm sure you carry out investigations with previous incidences.
Sometimes are the equipment. Actually, you need certain equipment, but you see that it will not be deployed, or it will not be deployed on time. So that will create a gap, and we need to also emphasize that at any point in time, in anything that we have, that there is SOP, that everybody must be guided by that SOP.
Standard operational procedure.
And then there is also a lead team in any emergency. So for building collapse, for flooding, and so on and so forth, everyone, and that lead team must be in front and giving the direction, so that instead of turning out to be spectators as rescuers, we will now follow the rules as we agreed on our response plan.
All right.
Great.
DG FCT Emergency Management Agency, Abbas Garba Idriss, thank you for being in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for your work.
Thank you.
All right.